The great medieval battle, realms at war genre. The skies were clear. It was a bright November 6th day, and the armies gathered to fight one another for the kickoff of the realms at war genre. And so I decided to commentate it. Many armies gathered that day for the battle: France, Norway, Silesia, the Teutonic Order, Denmark's troops, the Duchy of Austria, the Pack of Wolves, and the Kingdom of Sweden, all prepared to fight, one side or another, for the kickoff of the greatest battle. And with that, round one began. Five French, and we have for the Sugakuni, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 11 Sugakuni. So basically on this side, to my knowledge, I believe we're looking at around, I'd say it's roughly a 40v40, and then you have some extras back here in the corner on both teams, obviously, for people that have joined both sides, mostly as mercenaries or other missions. And then on the other side, we have the Kingdom of Denmark. We have Silesia, which I'm flying too slowly. Kingdom of Silesia, Denmark, and to my knowledge, Teutonic Order are also fighting all on the same side. This is over land in their interactive map, and it's a big battle, a coming together of multiple armies, and overall, it's going to be a big one. So just a heads up, this is Denmark on the third line here. The second line is Teutonic Order with the horns, and then this is Silesia, and these are also the Teutonic fighting alongside the Silesia to have the large fortress. Basically, they're mostly fighting over control of the fortress in the middle to see if anything will go as planned. And from here, we begin the entire battle. Here we go, boys. I'll be taking the best moments, putting them on YouTube, so just be aware. The battle began. Here we go, boys. Here we go. We have EXO out in front here. I'm going to be following primarily Denmark. This is the highest number, so we do have to expect them to be fighting on the highest level. We hear the footsteps. Here, I'll put it on 2 volumes so we're good to go. They're going to slowly spread out throughout the countryside. We're going to see both the armies fighting each other at a range here. Their primary objective is going to be holding the castle, because it's going to be a very large strategic point for both people. They might decide to go tower defense or decide to do a siege on both sides. We're not going to know really to the end of this, but we do see out in front quite a few of the, to my knowledge, I believe these are the Sugakuni. Sugakuni going out in front for the moment and trying to retake this castle pretty instantly to see if they can hold it down. But we do see quite a big advance. I thought they'd be holding out here. We do see Teutonic Order and the Kingdom of Silesia starting to move towards the castle, seeing if they can take this. Julius being the first person and one of the commanders walking over the bridge to try to see if he can go command and get into the castle. It does look like they're going to have to go around the front side, and they're going to have a little confronting fight here. Looks like we have some wolves out in front, Pack of the Wolves, and some of the extras coming in here. Castle is slowly being taken here by the Sugakuni, seeing if they could try to hold this for the time being. But we do see a rush, immediate rush, coming in from Silesia, trying to take this castle, also winning some of these kills already. And that's looking rough immediately. Oh boy, here we go. Can't tell anything that's going to be going on here, but we do have a full tier siege by the Silesians and the Teutonic Order going against the Sugakuni, and it looks like they're being pushed down, but they're going up on the high ground now to try to see if they can hold anything. That's not looking good for them, is it? That's not looking very good. And it looks like the majority are dying on the second team rather than the first team. The first team's still outnumbering them by a large amount, roughly double at this point. And they have the control of the castle. Is there going to be a retreat from the second team? It looks like they're going to try to hold the high ground. Are they going to try to hold in here? They are not. They're going to try to hold outside on top of the fortress, forcing them down the ladders to see if they can still win it. But it's looking rough for them at this point. That strategy did not work well. It kind of bombed. And we have a few of them left. We have a few of them left here on the high ground. A few of these French forces and one Sugakuni still alive, but the Sugakuni falls down and he gets under immediate attack from 5 troops. This man's running for his life. And he's gone. He's gone. It's not working well. And then over here we have a French trying to run, still getting killed. How many of them are left? We still have a couple of them. There are a moderate amount of them left. I think there's, how many of them are here? We have, I believe that's 12. 12 of them still left. If they have a chance if they regroup, and there is a chance to give them a chance here to win this still, but it's going to be difficult. And we do have the Silesians chasing down the remains of the French and the Pact of Wolves, which were the primary survivors of this entire battle. It does look like the Sugakuni got pretty much entirely wiped off the map by this point, and the Teutonic Order taking almost no casualties. Those are the guys with the horns, as a heads up. And we do have, this is one Sugakuni, one of the two commanders is still alive, but the Sugakuni are actually dead at this point. Other than the commanders, it does seem to be that way for the very moment. We do have, oh, the Austrians did survive the original fight. So we're going to have an Austrian force fighting off. The entire Austrian force pretty much survived, other than, I think 2 men died. Yeah, 2, oh, nope, 1. One of them died. And pretty much the entire Austrian force is still alive here, fighting off against the remaining entire army of Silesians, and a couple of Teutonic here. The Austrians are pretty good at combat, comparing they did survive that fight. But down goes one, and we are losing more Silesians here than we are actually losing Austrians. But one Austrian does go down, and the second is fighting a 4-on-1, and is actually doing a fair amount of damage here. But I think we're going to see an overwhelming majority going against the Austrians here as they're starting to fight 10-on-1s, which does not look incredibly favorable towards them at the moment, with Trick and X2 Bird still being some of the last people remaining in the siege, meaning that this is pretty much over at this point and finding to be incredibly unlikely. So Trick is still alive, being one of the two Sugakuni commanders still remaining in the battle, and then of course X2X Bird, a lower rank that I did look at earlier in the waiting phase, who is still alive and has an unknown location for now, but should be pretty much dead in this round. Is pretty much called at this point as Trick becomes the last remaining member, running as a Sugakuni, trying to trick them out here, being of course of his name, and it does look like he's going to fall. And that would be the end of round 1, being a primarily Silesian win here, but Teutonic of course helping them in the primary efforts of it. So Silesia didn't look like they lost too many men because of that, but Denmark did lose a lot of men in this process, noticing. Round 1 was over. Silesia, Teutonic Order, and Denmark had won. It was a costly first win, but they had done it correctly, and they've been able to scavenge a decent win. Round 2. It does look like we have a mass rush over here, oh boy. We got a mass rush of Silesia, Teutonic. Oh, they all fell out of their lines. Here we go. Denmark being in the front here. Denmark's going to take the primary hits. They're planning on that, I assume, here. Denmark and Silesia out in front. Teutonic kind of in the middle, preparing to fight as much as possible. Are they going to hold a siege here or not is the real question. We do have one Denmark way out in front. And then on the other side, looking over at the Sugakuni, Pact of Wolves, and the French and Austrians, and then any of the extras, you do see the Pact of Wolves going in first. Alright, so we're going to see a same type battle going on here. But this time they're here a little bit faster than they were before, to be real with you. They are in the fortress a little bit faster than they were last time. I don't know if they're going to do a straight up siege again, but it could be an interesting strategy. It did work for them the first time. But this time they're a little slower, to be honest. They did slow down a little bit with getting this the first time. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to see how this is going to go. But we do have the Austrians on the side, so I think they're going to let them overrun the fortress. They're going to let them overrun the fortress. There might be a couple of casualties here, but it doesn't look to be too extreme. That guy got obliterated, and everybody else pretty much abandoning the fortress at this point in favor of a lower ground attack, I guess. So they're giving up the fortress manually so that they don't have to fight that. We do see a couple Silesians fighting up against some of the extras. It does look like some damage is being done to Silesia, and they're being held back here. The fortress is pretty much entirely overran. Silesians and Denmark completely overran the fortress, and they're coming outside now to attack the remaining Austrians. Don't be too surprised. There will be a lot of men in the backside. Believe me, there will be a lot of men in the backside. Team 1 still overpowering Team 2, with seeing a lot of the Teutonic and Silesians, as well as Denmark, slowly coming down the hill here. But we do still see a decent amount of men retreating right now. To where? I'm not exactly sure yet, but there are quite a few men still left over, even at spawn. And we see the army slowly pushing in. Is there going to be any sort of regrouping? There is a chance. There's a small chance they could possibly regroup here if they do get enough. If they have enough men, they could regroup. A group of 6 or 7 men can wipe out 15. That is a very big possibility. So this entire group could be wiped out right here. Yeah. But it does look like Pact of Wolves being now overrun by the Silesians. Still fighting back, trying to pull him down. Figure goes down. And we hear Mappo's still alive. Mappo's still alive over here. We see one Austrian And actually that is Trick, one of the commanders we saw last game from the Sugakuni. And over here we see one of the remaining extras still remaining to be alive, opting to not be killed just yet at the moment. Looking at only a couple, or actually a single, that is the last one, guy alive, and he falls, and that is a 2-0 for the Silesians, Denmark, and Teutonic Order. That looks like that's a 2-0 right there. There you go. That's a 2-0 round. They've wiped out all the remaining. GG. They won. There you go. Round 2, Silesia, Teutonic Order, and Denmark had finally won the battle, but it came at a major cost. They were finally able to hold out, but the problem is that they were about to make a last-ditch attempt to try to win against Silesia, Teutonic, and Denmark to hold on to a bit of their pride. Denmark was so confident that they would win that they tried to cheat. I was gonna leave this out, but from my perspective it was pretty funny, so I decided to include it anyways. Denmark had already 2-0'd them so far, so it had been a pretty difficult run, obviously, for them, so cheating was, of course, the best option. Yeah, so essentially they're just getting ready for the moment. Meaning that they're spawning in. Denmark went for the castle, bro. Oh, Denmark went for the castle. And after this stint and restarting all the players, round 3 had begun. We see Nassau. This is Nassau, by the way. These are the guys that I requested to join in. Nassau for round 3, also involved in this battle. So on one side, we see Sugakuni, Duchy of Nassau, we see Pact of Wolves, and we also, of course, see the Austrians. And we do see the Teutonic Order going for an early fight. Teutonic Order trying to pull their men in to see if they can take an early fight against the Sugakuni and the Nassau. We'll see, dude. And here we go. Teutonic looking like they're winning the early fight here. But Sugakuni kind of encircling them right now. But we see backup coming in from Silesia, and Silesia just immediately overwhelming the Sugakuni. But we do see a slight push on the side now from the Nassau. Nassau seem to be pretty good fighters right now. And he's teabagging him. Sugakuni getting surrounded right now. The Sugakuni fall. Sugakuni commanders are now dead. The great battle came to a close as the server began to lag, although there were only 3 left on the enemy team opposing the Silesia, Teutonic, and Denmark. And of course, I'll put all their links and descriptions down in the description of the video if you guys happen to be interested. More than welcome to join into those groups. It was a lot of fun to commentate this battle, and I hope to do it again in the future. However, this video might not be the most edited thing. It was a very fun thing to be there for the actual event and take part in almost a 100-person battle in a medieval genre. And with that, they were all finally free.